Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. Today I thought I would show you my little craft online order that started out of desperation but sort of grew a little bit. If you're in Australia, craft online is one of the best ways to get hold of craft supplies. They have a huge selection, and if you sign up for their emails, every Saturday you get offers that are on sale, and on Wednesday you get another email that lets you know everything new that has arrived. So the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Spotlight, and I would have thought that purchasing lovely plain brown cardstock would have been easy to do. But guess what? I was very wrong. I could not buy plain brown cardstock, and I need it for a particular project I'm working on. So I sort of put that aside, forgot about it, and thought, oh, I'll have to go and buy some online. And I got my email on Saturday, and they had a special on Tim Holtz products. And I went, I think it's time to place an order. So surprise, surprise, they had beautiful plain brown cardstock. So my order started with this and grew. So we have two lovely sheets of simple plain cardstock for the project. Then let's start with all the Tim Holtz stuff. I purchased this little 4-pack, all of the Tim Holtz stuff, and that was on sale. So all of this was actual bargain hunting. I love it. I got these. I have the big one of these, but black. When I'm traveling, this little tiny one will be perfect. But then, of course, there's also brown, grey, and a sort of tanny coffee colour. I have a brown ink, but it's not the best. Don't have grey and don't have this. So I thought this was a good purchase to add to my collection. I don't need the giant ones because I probably won't use these ones that often. But I noticed during winter, I thought I must get myself a grey ink. So now I have done that. This is the archival ink. It's great for mixed media backgrounds because it will not dissolve when you add layers of water on top of it. So that was purchase number one. Then the next thing, I purchased tea dye. I love using browns, but I've noticed that they're all very dark, and I've seen other people use tea dye. It's on the lighter side, so I added that one to my collection because I didn't have it. Then I also grabbed an orange because I've a couple of times, especially if I'm doing Halloween-y themed things, I thought, oh, I wish I had an orange stamp pad / whatever. So now we've added carved pumpkin to the collection. And one gap I definitely noticed was I needed a darker green. I've got cracked pistachio, but it's a bit too bright. I wanted something more muted and a bit darker. So rustic wilderness has been added to my collection. I also bought Re-Inker for vintage photo, which is the one I think a lot of us use the most. Also seen a couple of videos where people have crafted using this ink as their base. So I thought, you know what, we're going to grab one of those. Then for the first time ever, I have grabbed a distress spray stain. I bought the blue, the ocean, salty ocean. I want to have an experiment and play with these. If I like them, I'll go ahead and order more. But I thought I'm going to get one to start with and see what I think of it. Then they have these Poppy Crafts embossing powders. So I bought Kettle Copper because I thought a nice coppery colour. I love using bronzes and coppers in my work, so I thought copper would be a good idea. And I didn't have a clear one. Again, I've seen others add embossing, shiny highlights on things, and it's clear. I didn't have a clear one, so I think I got these for like $1.99 each. So absolute bargain to experiment with. And then I found these. These are obviously, stick-on gems, sort of in a brownie coffee colour. I went, I need to have those. So they have come along for the ride. Then they had a sale on embossing folders. Again, these are Poppy Craft. And honestly, I bought these cheaper than I can buy them off Temu or any of those sites. And I love full background bits, and my favourite way to use these is with the colour swatches you get from Bunnings or hardware stores. You know, paint swatches. Embossing the backgrounds looks delightful. So I grabbed this one, which has some flowers. And then I loved this one. This is a fleur-de-lis. Quite a bold one. I thought, oh, yes, that will be handy. And then I also got this one. And honestly, for vintage backgrounds and giving plain paper some deco and texture before you even start. And look, I think I paid $1.99 or $2.99 for these. Absolute bargain. So I thought they were worth purchasing. And then finally, yes, finally, I couldn't resist these. Now, this is like a pad of papers. And have a look at this. They are coffee themed. And they have a bit of a vintage feel. Honestly, I could not resist those. And then you just tear them off. And of course, anything coffee themed will often end up in my cart. It also has a perforation along here. So to pop into journals, there was no way in the world they were not going into my cart. So there we go. Now, this was not sponsored. I just went and made this order. But if you live in Australia, I don't know, they may ship to New Zealand. I honestly have not checked into that. And you need good quality craft supplies. You cannot beat Craft Online, because I've found Spotlight, A, are getting incredibly expensive, and B, their stock levels are atrocious. You can't even buy brown cardstock. So Craft Online is a really good alternative. Voila. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Leave them in the comments box below. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.